Capricorn, welcome back to the Sapphire Spider Oracle channel. So glad to have you guys here. This is the last set of zodiac sign readings I will be doing for the year 2021. So thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, donate, and subscribe as you feel guided to. Today I've got a lot of very natural crystals in here, along with this really nice malachite pyramid. Just looks kind of like a Christmas tree, so it's nice and green. I have a special treat for you guys today. I brought in my runes. We're gonna pull runes in a little bit, but let's get started with the Wildwood Tarot, and we're just kind of focusing on whatever messages or things we need to hear or finish wrapping up for the end of this year. So we're just seeing what the energy is right now. We just went through an eclipse portal. There's definitely been a lot of big changes. It's the holidays, obviously. Lots of loose little ends and things to wrap up for the end of the year. So it's whatever you need to hear or know or see to wrap up your year. And I'm gonna take that card because that's the one that caused all the rest of these to fall out. We're gonna start there. There's a pain that came into the side of my rib cage over here, the left side. Let's get started. Okay. It was kind of starting with a message that said he feels you. This is definitely a she. So this could be a message to a woman. For some of you guys, it doesn't matter if it's a he or a she. Someone feels you and connects to you. It's talking about ley lines in the earth, Capricorn. And ley lines are a natural energy grid system that is over the whole globe. And in certain, especially druidry, which you see a lot coming through this deck, ley lines are like when you go out to the trees and you sit with the trees and you send your energy or receive energy or send messages and receive messages through the energetic ley lines of the earth. So you don't have to be by a tree. You can definitely be by stones. It's talking about distance healing and distance communication. Distance healing and distance communication. And that's exactly what this woman's doing in this card, is putting her hands on the stones and soaking up all that she needs to know. This card is usually about creativity, but I'm not getting so much of the creativity part of it today. I'm getting more of the sense of distance healing. Whether it's healing yourself, grounding yourself, going outside, soaking up the energy of natural stones, of the trees, of the earth, right? Her dress is turning into roots. So it's very much about grounding yourself, but it's talking specifically about the ability to send and receive energy through the ley lines, through the other natural energies of the earth. And it really wanted to bring in these natural raw stones today. So these are Moqui Marbles. This is feminine and masculine. These help balance the magnetic energies in your body and in spaces. So you kind of work with them together, and they have a little bit of a magnetic pull and repulsion to them. And then we've got an Ammonite fossil. This is just a stone I found with my dad years ago. It looks like a big toe, so I joke that this is the stone that you like kick off in people's asses with. And then I just have like this little river stone. It looks like an egg, very feminine. And I have this other kind of slate stone. I call it my wolf stone because it kind of looks like a wolf's head howling at the moon. And I use this to help transmit messages from my spirit, like my deep howlings in life, right? So that's where, like, all of that I just mentioned about those stones, like, that's the kind of energy that's wanting to talk to you through all of this. So there's lots of natural, raw energy and healing to be soaked up and used. But it was saying that he feels you. That could be the tree. That could be a person. She's got her hands on some animals. That could be an animal. If you're doing any kind of healing, Capricorn, right? So it was talking about, like, he feels you. And that's where that pain in my rib cage over here, that's what I'm saying. It's like you can sense and feel things. You're a healer and an empath, Capricorn. So you can feel things. And I think there's a bit of a question of, like, can this animal, can this other energy that maybe you're trying to work with feel me? And I think the answer is yes. He can feel you. She can feel you. It can feel you. Okay? Let's keep going. For some of you guys, it's talking about possibly a passed on loved one. And it's like, are they still around? Can they still hear me and sense me? And the answer is yes. So however that message applies to you there, that's kind of what it's talking about. There we go. Okay, it kind of wants, it wants 4, so. All right. I've had this deck the longest too. This was my first tarot deck, so there's some wear on it a little bit. It said, remember your dreams. Yeah, that's totally this card. I've pulled this card before when I asked this deck, like, what my true self was, and this is the card it always gives me. This is the Page of Bows. This is a Page of Wands. This is the messenger. And this card, the description is specifically about dreams or strange news, strangers approaching you with strange news and things like that. It's very much a card about just strange tidings or strange little events that can either have to do with some things like dreams or intuitional senses, and sometimes it's just like synchronicities, right? It's saying pay attention to your dreams and pay attention to the synchronicities. And it's very much pointing out these little yellow flowers to me today. So there's little symbols, there's little things that are showing up in your dreams, in your intuition, in your synchronicities that you need to be paying attention to. And considering we just have an illustration of animals here, and then we have a real animal here, we were talking about, like, can this person or can this other energy feel me or sense me? I think, like, this is a different card, but I think that there is the other energy somewhat present. So it's saying, like, if you're unsure, pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the synchronicities. There's little reminders and things coming around to show you that this person or energy is connecting to you, healing with you, feeling you. There's something there about that. So, and it's also, like I was saying, this is the card that I always pulled that said this was my true self. So it's talking about remembering your true self, especially if you're feeling any sense of self-doubt about your gifts or intuition. Where has it proven you right before? When have you been able to fully rely on synchronicities and dreams and these things, and they were truthful or, you know, like inspiring? You know that within yourself, Capricorn. So that's where it's just pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to the signs, pay attention to all these things. But the answer has already been given that yes, this other energy is connected to you and can sense and feel you. And what's this one next? It said it can sense that you are struggling, Capricorn. It can sense that you are struggling. With the Five of Bows, empowerment. You're very concerned about going up over the top of this hill. And it said you've been praying a lot. It said you've been praying a lot. Because that's what this figure is, essentially, is a deity. And that's why this image has been made, is it's a deity to help protect you in times of strife or battle or invasion or war or what have you, right? So there's something like you're anticipating, there's that smoke on the horizon, right? It's like you're anticipating that there could be some kind of confrontation over the horizon. And it can, this other energy can sense that you're worried about it and that you've been praying a lot. And it's definitely here to help back you up. It's a very quiet energy. It's not like it's, like get in there and blah. Like it's none of that. It's just here to back you up. And it is here to just somewhat confirm, like, there is fair reason for concern about these things, right? Like, it's not that you're being ungrounded and just living in a bunch of fear. You're being realistic, and it can tell that you're very concerned about this and that you've been praying a lot. And that's exactly what she looks like she's doing. And that's where there's this really deep question, Capricorn, about, like, when I said he, like I said, you could take that as she, the universe, an animal, some distance healing. But if we're talking about like just you speaking to God, to the universe, and hoping that something, someone, he, she, it is out there listening to you, hearing you, and feeling you, the answer is yes. Pay attention to those signs in your dreams. Yes, the universe knows that you've been praying about this and knows that you sense and feel that there's something up over the hill. Ooh, and it was just giving me all the times in the Bible, for instance, when there are wars and battles in the Bible. It's not like the Bible is completely devoid of heavier energies, right? And sometimes God lets people get swallowed up in battle because they needed to be. And sometimes he sends you forth into battle because that's what he needs you to do. And that's where it's kind of like a debate of like, am I going over this hill? Either way, it feels like kind of like what you're supposed to do, but you're scared and worried about it. So it's like, you know, are you protecting me? Are you leading me to my end? Like, what exactly is over this hill? And yes, that can all be sensed. You said like underneath it all, like deep down underneath it all. What a beautiful card. Yes, the Three of Cups, joy. Ooh, it just gave me a song. It gave me the song from Dixie Chicks, which I haven't heard this song in quite a while, and it is Soldiers Coming Home. That can definitely come through on this card. This Three of Cups, part of the definition of this card in this particular deck is about the safe journey of someone coming home. And I can definitely see that here. Capricorn, you might have a family member that is in the military, that is overseas. You might have a family member that was passed on that was in the military that is kind of more like literally like up in the sky, and it's like, can they feel me and everything, right? For some of you, there's definitely this sense about, and like we can use the word soldier for all kinds of things, but that song's definitely about military people. So Capricorn, if you have someone overseas for anything, military, business-wise, whatever, it's like, you know, are they getting my messages? Can they sense me? Can they tell that I miss them? I'm really worried about them going away or staying away for so long. We don't know what's going to happen. This is all very scary and confusing. Are they ever going to get to come home? There's this joy card here. Oh, it just gave me another song that said, I'll be home for Christmas. So some people are worried about getting home for Christmas. Whether you're overseas and doing things like that or someone else is, it can also just be general stress. Like I said, trying to finish up the year, getting over that hill. There's some kind of fight or conflict that you're worried about. But you're going to wrap it up and make it back home by the end of the year for sure. And especially, this is just getting together with friends and having general joy, but this card in this deck specifically talks about people returning home safely. And that's really what I'm catching off of here. So yes, someone or the universe in general feels you. They've been sending you signs. Have you been recognizing them? If not, ground yourself. That's how you can access that energy. Yes, it can feel your stress and your strife and your worry about this conflict. Ground yourself. Don't get too involved in all of those fears. Why? Because there is this promise of joy underneath. That's the energy you need to soak up anyway. Look at all of this green. That's the heart chakra, and it's the color of the season. You need to be surrounding yourself with green, Capricorn. But this talks specifically about someone coming home. Someone coming home. And whether that is in spirit, whether that is in physical body, whether that is someone who is literally here and alive coming home for the holidays, or whether that is the energy of someone that has passed on being around for the holidays. Either way, this energy is present and it can hear you and feel you, and it is around you right now, Capricorn. And it wants you to feel joy because that's how you can access and see and feel and interact with that energy. We're going to get one more card and then we're going to pull a rune for you guys. We got another 3. Look, you got a 333. Woo! Capricorn, you got a 333 message. Yes, look. You are coming up to the point of fulfillment. You're coming up to the point of fulfillment. 333, coming up to the point of fulfillment. Spirit is here in this message. And look at this tree right here too, right? You're on the path to this joy. This message is being fully received. You might not see the evidence of all of that yet, but you are on the path, and once you come up this path, you're going to meet that point of fulfillment. You're in the waiting period now. You're in the waiting period now. Pay attention to those signs. Look at the bow on this side too, right? It's like, be prepared for things that you need to be prepared for. Say hello to the signs and synchronicities when they come through and see them for what they are. Keep yourself grounded and stable and balanced, but know that you are just on the path, like literally getting there. You're in that waiting period, and everyone, everything, every energy that you are looking for to come home for you this holiday is coming home, and you're going to feel this great joy. And it's going to be beautiful. It just says all coming together for you. It's all coming together, okay? Now, let's pull a rune. I've got a little booklet, and then I've got a big book over here with some advanced definitions if I need anything else. What's a rune for Capricorn to carry all the way through the end of this year? You ready? This is the one. Oh, and you got a good one. Notice that it is blank. It's a blank rune. It's a blank rune. So let's check it out. I love pulling that rune, honestly. And they don't have a definition for that in my book, so I just have to go off my little booklet. It stands for the letter Y. And the key word here is U-tree, eternity, new direction, radical change, complete success, and maximum protection. This rune does not correspond to a period of the year or hour, but is rather a time out of time. And that's what makes this rune so magical and special. It's about maximum protection. Now, it said a yew tree. Look at this tree here, right? eternity. It can be a new direction and radical change, but it's complete success and maximum protection. So if you're worried about going over this hill, you have maximum protection. And even if it is a radical life change, you have maximum protection. These signs and all of these messages here, it might not happen on a specific timeline. Excuse me. It might not happen on a specific timeline because it exists outside of time and space. And that really makes me kind of lean towards the idea that this could be a relative that's passed on and stuff too. It's just the fact that like someone's coming back around that's more in a dream state, in a spiritual state, things like that, a time outside of time, right? But if not, I mean, take it how it resonates. See how it unfolds for you. That's the beauty of this rune right here. It's a bit of a mystery, but it's just to say like Odin, God, is really at play in the timeline of these events because it exists in a time outside of time. It's maximum protection. It's just all of those things. So everything you're worried about, like just wipe that off the board. You've got a 333 message here, and you got one of the most powerful runes in the deck. It's beautiful, Capricorn. You're safe and protected, it just said. Like it just came through like affirmation said, you are safe and protected. It said you're doing well. Yes. And that's what I got for you. It just gave me Doctor Who. It's talking about like the TARDIS, like existing in time outside of time. That's what I mean. Like you're safe and protected. It's like you're in your own little spaceship here at the holidays. You got some things on the horizon you're worried about. Don't worry about them. Beautiful 333 message coming through your core. Just pay attention to those signs and you can't go wrong for the rest of the year, okay? Thank you, Capricorn. Everyone have a happy holiday. Stay safe and warm. I will see you guys in 2022. Have a wonderful day or night. Thanks.